The anime My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia as it is known in Japanese, is a show set in a world like our own with one major difference. Everybody has a quirk. What is a quirk, you ask? Well, quirks are mutations that began appearing in human beings at some point before the start of the show. Most of the human race at the time of the show is born with a quirk, with the notable exception of the protagonist, who I will discuss shortly. Quirks basically give people supernatural abilities that range from relatively simple ability of moving around a small object to being able to manipulate both ice and fire. With the discovery of quirks, a new profession emerged in the world, the hero. Heroes are very highly regarded, with the best among them reaching legendary status. Supreme among all heroes is All Might, the world's symbol of peace. The series revolves around a teenage boy named Izuku Midoriya, who will from here on out be referred to as Deku, as he attends the prestigious UA High School. UA specializes in hero education, although there are other tracks, and most of the world's, or at least Japan's, greatest heroes are alumni there. One of the major themes of the show, and the topic of this essay, is what does it mean to be a hero? This is something that each of the characters in the show grapples with at some point or another, if not throughout. Deku, for example, dreamed of being a hero his whole life, in order to be like his personal idol, All Might. The values All Might represents, such as justice and protecting those who cannot protect themselves, drove Deku to improve and always strive for more, even though, as I previously mentioned, he was born quirkless. Through a chance accident, Deku is able to inherit All Might's quirk, One for All, allowing him to begin his journey towards realizing his goal of becoming a great hero. While Deku, his classmates, and most of society at large view heroes very highly, there are those who have a very different point of view on the matter entirely. The hero killer, known as Stain, is a very notable example. In Stain's eyes, the hero system is corrupt and decadent. It does not, in his eyes, represent the true meaning of the word hero. To him, heroes and the hero system is just a way to make money and achieve fame. In his stint in the anime, he constantly refers to heroes as being fakes. As his title would imply, he hunts down professional heroes and murders them for what he considers to be their indiscretions. Ironically enough, the only person he views as being worthy of being called a hero is All Might. When you consider the point of view of Deku and his companions and compare it to Stain's ideology, one question comes to my mind. Who is right? I'm not sure that this question can be entirely answered in an objective way. It does, however, come back to a question I posed earlier in this essay. What does it mean to be a hero? Or alternatively, what is a hero? Dr. Alex Lickerman, in an article on psychologytoday.com, provides one interpretation of what makes someone a hero. And I quote, "I'd argue it's the willingness to make a personal sacrifice for the benefit of others. If you don't find yourself having to resist a voice inside your head urging you to save yourself instead of whatever action you're contemplating, my heart, at least, will refuse to recognize your actions, however legitimately compassionate or courageous they may be, as heroic. Serving others while simultaneously serving oneself can be noble, certainly, but a special kind of nobility attaches itself to those who serve others at a cost to themselves. That's the nobility that tugs at my heart. That's the kind of behavior I find heroic." This idea of a hero fits very well with the values that a hero like All Might, Deku, and as warped as he may be, Stain, seem to conform to when they imagine a hero. I feel that this definition is serviceable, however, there is something more to be said. After all, I think Stain kind of has a point in his analysis of his society. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to justify his extremist actions, but the state of heroes is not necessarily great when the series begins. Heroes are constantly competing with each other in order to be the best. Some people might not like this next part, but I'm just going to go for it. In the world of My Hero Academia, there's a force stronger than even All Might that has distorted the meaning of what it is to be a hero. This force exists in our world as well. What is this force I mentioned? It's capitalism. What I'm suggesting is not as crazy as it sounds. Let's start with the basics. The world of My Hero Academia, as I already mentioned, is the same as ours, with the exception of the existence of quirks. Their world, therefore, still operates under a capitalist economic model. This is fairly reflected in the hero system itself. People work their asses off to become heroes, but are constantly competing with each other for recognition. Heroes have to constantly outdo each other in order to stay relevant in society. Yes, they help people, but competition drives this. Heroes have to form or become members of agencies that represent their brand. This isn't like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man who swoops in to help people of New York and slip back into the shadows. The hero system in My Hero Academia is a well-regulated industry. The concept of a hero has been integrated into the capitalist system, and depending on your point of view, distorted it. I would like to provide you with a quote from the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, and I quote, "These laborers who must sell themselves piecemeal are a commodity like every other article of commerce, and are consequently exposed to all the vicissitudes of competition, to all the functions of the market." This largely aligns with the ideas I previously proposed. I would like to clarify something. I am not invoking this quote or the Communist Manifesto in order to imply that heroes are part of an oppressed underclass that needs to overthrow the system. My point is that capitalism has turned the hero profession, and by extension the heroes themselves, into a commodity that is bought and sold and subject to the capitalist system. So up to now, I've given one definition of what a hero could be and offered an explanation as to why that definition may not be an accurate description of the heroes in My Hero Academia. But I feel that the driving question of what is a hero has not yet been answered. Well, as I said before, I don't really know what the answer is. But if you want some good insight from the show, I would recommend episode 30 in season 2. In this episode, Deku and his friends Todoroki and Ida must fight and confront Stain. Ida, up to this point, had been struggling with an internal conflict as Stain murdered his pro-hero older brother. Ida, out of revenge, nearly abandons his values, which are quite similar to Deku's, in order to get justice for his brother. Yet, it is by coming close to the brink of becoming someone else and being pulled back by those who care for him that he is able to return to his normal self. Ida abandons his selfishness in order to come closer to being a hero than he had ever been up to this point. I think there is a lesson to be learned from Stain. I don't think vigilantes should go around killing pro-heroes and causing chaos, but maybe the status quo in My Hero Academia's world needs to be challenged and questioned. Maybe then we will have a better idea of what a hero is.